Emily, can you hear us okay? Check.
Right here. All right. Well, I see that we're recording, so are we ready to start?
I think we're ready anytime, Madam
All
Chair.
right. I'd like to welcome everyone to the December 11th, 2024 meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission. And let's reflect that we started the meeting at 4:02 p.m. Would you like to call roll?
I would. Mandy Roberts,
Present.
Jennifer Bobo,
Present.
Brianne Sandow,
Present.
Joe Greer, Ellie Hood,
Present.
Dom Gelsomino,
Present.
Terry Dennington. Oh, coming, and maybe I'll just wait for a pause for a second. Let me just see if I don't see John Nesmith online. So Terry Dennington here.
Here.
And Alan Helms. All right, and John Nesmith is absent.
Okay. Thank you. So I would like to call for the adoption of today's agenda.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Gelsomino.
I'd like to make a motion for the adoption of tonight's agenda.
Do I have a second to that motion? Okay, we've got a second from Joe. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? No? Okay, agenda is adopted. Let's move on to the approval of the minutes for the November 13th, 2024. And it was a special meeting just because we're still on the special meeting track with the 4 p.m., right?
Correct. It'll be considered a special meeting until the new ordinance is adopted.
Okay,
But this is our new regular meeting time, but it will say special meeting until the ordinance changes.
okay, great. Okay, so is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Gelsomino.
I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the November 13th, 2024 special meeting.
And do we have a second? And Commissioner Greer has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? No. Okay, the meeting minutes have been approved. Moving on, we do not have any special announcements or old business. We have, a Christmas presentation, exciting. I will turn it over to Director Sitaway.
We have a small gift for each of you as a token of our appreciation for all of your volunteer hours. Have them right here. Try to decide whether to spill the beans because I kind of want to tell you what's underneath the wrapping paper. So
Yes.
I'm going to. There's a new Meridianopoly game that's out that's based on Monopoly, but it uses Meridian landmarks. And Meridian Parks and Rec has several squares. There's things like, Settlers Park, and I think Kleiner Park's on there if I remember right, and even like Initial Point Gallery here in City Hall. So several things that we do made it on the board, so we thought it was kind of a fun
Oh,
gift.
that's wonderful.
So I will. I'm gonna just come by and pass them out.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so
You're
much.
just saying we're a bunch of squares.
Perfect timing for family get-togethers over the holidays, you know?
What's the highest ticket one on the end?
Yeah,
I want to know, what's the highest ticket one? You know, the boardwalk.
the boardwalk equivalent. Oh, thank you.
with Monopoly.
Oh, this is so cool.
Super fun. That might top the hand warmer from a few years ago. That was my previous favorite guess.
Meridianopoly. I got it. So it looks like the highest value places are, drum roll, Kleiner Park, Settlers Park. Oh, wait, I'm reading it the wrong way. Oh, there we are. Okay. Oh, uh-oh, car fine. That could be bad. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoy them and are able to, play it with family and friends this Christmas.
Yeah,
I
thank
thought
you
the
so
properties
much.
would be like 150,000.
Right.
Oh, that's great. Well, I appreciate the thoughtfulness.
Well, and we appreciate all of your service to the community as volunteer citizen members of the commission and for all that you do. So thank you very much and Merry Christmas.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas to you. Thank you. All right, so now we have our own Miss Own, Shelley Houston, with a communications update annual report.
Shelley, did you have Chris pull yours up? Is it on here ready to share?
Yes,
All right. let's see.
allegedly and supposedly.
Um, Utility bill. Let's see. I don't see it. Is it on this thumb drive by chance?
Yes, very much so, but I don't know how to make this.
It's an informal meeting tonight. We
I
are
know, I know.
cash and.
Please make it known for the record, I'm having an exceedingly good hair night. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed?
Shelley, do you know if it's saved to the Y drive by chance? Or
No, it's not. It's just on my desk.
some days I have like that.
here it is, right here.
At least we have lots of candy to get us through, right? Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, go grab Chris. Sorry for the momentary delay while we get the PowerPoint up.
Oh, we need Christmas jokes. Just a minute. Ho, ho, ho. Why does Santa have 3 gardens? So he can ho, ho, ho. There was a better one this morning, but what was it? Where's Garrett? What was that better one this morning? I liked your first one better.
Where does the gingerbread man sleep? On cookie sheets?
That was a good.
That's a good one. We also, there's all of these memes going around about Elf on the Shelf, and I didn't realize he
half
was
of them
such
I
a
don't
naughty
understand.
elf.
Oh, there's some
My
really
goodness.
disgusting ones.
Well, I have it up on the thumb drive.
Well, we can break out the game, start a round.
Something's happening. I see it. And then I can advance it by hitting the arrow.
Chris Johnson, everybody.
Chris?
All right, Shelley,
Oh, I advance the slides.
down arrow.
It's not moving. That's why. What? Oh, right arrow.
Do I need to?
I'm not getting any arrow action.
Oh, there you go.
Oh. Well. No,
Space bar?
no. Oh, yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, use the space bar.
Okay. We'll just start right here. Usually you hear me talk about kind of the few upcoming events we have, but tonight we want to tell you a little bit more about some of the things I do in my marketing / communications type role and kind of how it fits into the bigger picture of promoting not just our department, but the city and some other entities as well. So I've cleverly named my presentation, How We Communicate. Let's move on, shall we? So why this is particularly relevant, and I think you guys are going to go over your commission goals tonight. I think there are 10 of them, clearly listed from least important to most important, because number 10 is pursue improved communication tools and opportunities to engage the community and diverse interests. So that's what makes this relevant. So that's kind of the why tonight. So we'll keep moving. Here at the city, although we're on a pretty tight budget because we're using taxpayers' dollars, we use both traditional and non-traditional tools for communicating to our many audiences. And we call them our stakeholders. And by that, you can imagine residents, visitors, business owners, developers, and then other targeted groups that are relevant to whatever it is we're working on or communicating. And our goal in what we do is always to maintain trust, offer transparency, and forge a strong relationship with our citizens. So I've been here quite a while, and my family, when I go out, my sister and dad, everyone's like, hi, Shelley. And they're like, what, do you know everyone in town? It's kind of like, well, maybe. And it's because we work hard to build those relationships. We want to be not just a name, but a face and a presence in the community. So same with Steve and the rest. We work hard to get to know people, to remember them and hope that they remember us, all in the thought of building that trust and some recognition. So that's what a lot of the things we do are aiming towards. When we speak on behalf of the city or Parks and Rec, we have to use kind of many voices. And every day I feel like I've got like an identity crisis because I have to really always think, whose voice am I speaking with right now? I'm one of the communication team members of the overall city of Meridian. So am I doing something that encompasses the entire city and speaks for the whole city? Am I just speaking my Parks and Rec lingo? Am I talking about something that has to do with the Meridian home court? Am I the voice of the Meridian pool, the Lakeview golf course? I'm even a social media person for things like the Rock of Honor. I have permissions to speak as the Arts Commission, the Historic Preservation Commission, and sometimes there's myself or someone else from our department. So I always have to stop and think, am I on the right account? And am I using the right voice and the right vibe for my communication goal? So I always have to keep that in mind. That reminds me of the time I accidentally got overwhelmed and I booked my personal haircut with Nikki on the community calendar. So people kept calling and saying, wow, Nikki must give good haircuts, huh? And I was thinking, gosh, I didn't know I had a famous hairdresser. What's this obsession with my hair and Nikki? And they pointed out, dingbat, you put your personal appointment on the community calendar. So sometimes I do make goofs and forget who I am or who I'm speaking as, but I've learned to make really quick corrections on the fly. One communication method, which we used to use more heavily in the past, but it's become a bit cost prohibitive as our city grows and everything becomes more expensive. And that has to do with print publications. Some things that we used to print in the past, like, gosh, we'd print, 26,000 copies of our 40-page activity guide and then mail it to households. That was $9,000 or $10,000 3 times a year. Very expensive. And during COVID, we experimented with, well, what if we didn't, because things were changing so quickly, what would happen if we just posted it online and then we could make changes on the fly and not worry that, oh gosh, we just sent out a bunch of wrong information? We discovered our attendance and participation really didn't fall. So therefore, we don't print it. Occasionally we'll have someone toddle up and say, I can't use the computer. Can you print me an activity guide? Yes, ma'am. Yes, we can do that. We'd be happy to do that for you. But in general, some of the documents that used to be printed hard copy are now online only. And it's worked for us. During COVID, again, we began as a city offering more online ways to engage with the city for communication, information, paying bills, doing licensing or permits, and it kind of just stuck. So we're always just testing the polls, taking the polls, seeing where people are at. But some of the few things that we do still print, our city newsletter. There's a newsletter if you open up your utility bill. There's usually one folded up inside. Some people read it and some don't, but we do make an effort. As about Terry, you get extra credit points, brownie points for reading it. In the utility news billing, sometimes we have the ability to print little messages on the bottom of each person's statement. We do send press releases to all the media, radio, TV, newspaper, in the hope they'll pick up a story. I don't know if you know this, there's a little Welcome to Meridian booklet that goes to all new residents, and parks is mentioned. We have a section in there. So that goes out. Our activity guide, we talked about that's online only. We use postcards and letters or flyers as needed. We did actually send out little postcards for our community center open house the other night because we really wanted to target the neighborhoods around that Settlers Park expansion, Cedar Springs and around there. And it really worked. A lot of those neighbors came. We had 50 or 60 people attend, and most were from that neighborhood. So we have that ability to also zoom in when we have to. So anyway, print publications, quite expensive, but sometimes worth the effort. If you wonder on our print pieces, how come everything's blue and gold, blue and gold, blue and gold? Sometimes we say that to ourselves too. It's for a reason. We're trying to establish a brand identity for the city, and the color scheme's an important part of it. When you see something blue and gold, you're like, Meridian. And so that's guided by, there's literally a brand manual, or we call it graphic standards. It's literally a booklet that's many pages long. This is one of the pages of it. It's everything from what shades of blue and gold can you use to how close can something be to the logo, to if you print a shirt or a hat, what logos can you or can't you use? If you're doing business letters, what font should you use? Granted, not everyone adheres to it as well as they should, but in general, we really try to do that. And lately we have other issues like ADA issues, like understanding that colorblind people have trouble seeing like the color red or some accent colors we might choose to use. So trying to avoid those. Or even on our social media posts, people who are visually impaired and are using some sort of a voice reader to read their screen. On a photograph, we put alternative text. For a person that can't see the picture, it would just say, photo of 2 women talking on a park bench holding a baby, or whatever the picture is. So we're trying to become more sensitive to that type of thing. We also have access, not in every single department, but we have Spanish language speakers. So we know if we get someone on the phone that we're just having a real communication challenge with, we know just who to go to communicate more clearly. So anyway, that's what we call brand standards or graphic standards. Digital communications, that's kind of the new hip way, everything's online. And so we're having to get with the program. Thankfully, the city just updated its website to a much better looking, easier to navigate, a little more hip and with it and colorful version not long ago, maybe, I don't know, year and a half, 2 ago. So it's still a little bit of work in progress, but everything's probably 99% where we want it to be. We also just recently started doing an e-newsletter. Here, I don't know how to go back. I'll show you what our e-newsletter looks like, meaning Parks and Rec. Around the first of each month, we put out an e-newsletter to all 26,000 people who subscribe to our Rec One system, meaning they've taken a class or signed up for a sports activity and somehow engaged with us. So we send to them now. We've only been doing that since maybe March or April.
If I could just interject, I think all of you should be on the list to be receiving that. So if any of you think you're not receiving that, please let us know.
I'll show
We'll
you in a
make sure
second
you're
what it
on.
looks like and you'll go, oh, that. So I'll show you in a second. And I'm gonna give you a handout that tells all these things I'm gonna be listing. So don't panic, just listen and enjoy. The mayor also does a podcast called My Meridian. And he's had us on as a guest where we get to tell about the department and what we do and how we do it and what new and exciting things are coming up. So podcasting is something we've dabbled in. We've also done some City 101 type meetings where we have the public come and learn about what our department does and they can ask questions. There's a lobby TV screen we can program messages into. We use lots of community calendars throughout the Treasure Valley. The Idaho Events Calendar and Channel 7 and the Idaho Statesman and Boise Dev and Hello Meridian. There's just lots of community calendars. And then, like I say, Hello Meridian is an example of a popular influencer. These are these attractive people that have gobs of followers and people listen to what they say and do. And so we're sure to make sure they're knowing what our activities and what's important to us. And they partner with us quite often. They're the bigger and fancier they get, they're getting a little full of themselves and charging a lot, but they're being kind to us. They understand we're the city and we don't have a huge marketing or, budget. So some of these influencers are being very kind to us, especially Hello Meridian. She's the biggest and best so far. I mentioned the e-newsletter that Parks and Rec is sending out. This is what the little masthead would look like on your computer. You can see that the normal one's the top one. And then for seasons, we goof with it a little. And like this was the fall issue. We put the little tree in the truck and the punkies or whatever. So anyway, we try to jazz it up a little just to be eye-catching. So if you're not receiving that, let us know and we'll get you figured out. Media, advertising, public relations. These are things like news interviews. Lately, we've had a lot of news interest, especially with the new community center. We've had stories with lots of TV stations and Boise Dev. And we did a big long piece with Brian Holmes yesterday from Channel 7 for the 208 on Santa's mailbox, a very hard-hitting topic. So print and TV interviews, those are things we prepare for and we welcome. This is part of that transparency and our willingness to speak, to tell our story. Radio advertising and in-studio interviews, again, expensive, and sometimes we're buddies with a lot of the radio personalities. So we'll say, hey, you gonna invite me on your morning show to talk about Unplug and Be Outside or the Meridian Art Party? And they're like, yeah, come on, Shell. So it's like, so we've got a good rapport with some radio stations that'll have us in for free. We do buy some radio space, but I'll tell you, people aren't watching the news. They're not listening to the radio in their car. They're not reading the newspaper, except my 93-year-old father. These things are kind of going the way of the covered wagon. So we're using them wisely and sparingly, just understanding they're not always the biggest, best audience for us. We can, depending on what the thing is we want to do, we can reach out to partners like West Ada School District, the Meridian Chamber, the Library District, ACHD, the senior centers. These are examples of if we're looking for some specialized audiences or topics, we can try to collaborate with them. And they'll do some favors for us. We'll do some favors for them communication wise. We have a good rapport. And we even try to be kind to our other cities, the Eagle Parks Department or the Nampa Park. When they show a new playground on their Facebook, I'm the first one as the city of Meridian to say, oh my gosh, that looks fun. That's going to be perfect for summer, or, something kind and supportive. And then they do it for us. So we're showing nice solidarity within the Parks and Rec community and friendship to our neighboring cities. This is a weird public relations thing, but we occasionally throughout the year nominate some of if we have new programs or people that are worthy of recognition. There are some awards programs, like through the Association of Idaho Cities. They have City Achievement Awards, or the Idaho Recreation and Park Association, or the Best of Boise or Best of Meridian. We'll prepare nominations, and most often we get a couple. We're kind of good at it. We're getting kind of good at it. So we pick and choose what makes sense. And so that's another way to call attention to ourselves in a subtle way that doesn't cost any money. And then people they get mad when we're listed by, Wall Street Journal or Wallet Hub as the #1 safest city in America, or the best place to raise. And they're like, shh, quit we got enough people. We're not looking for those. They come to us. And we just provide a couple photographs or some information. We're not out seeking those designations, but it happens. And it kind of tickles us when it does. Especially if we beat Boise or Nampa. Bless their hearts. Okay. In-person opportunities. For me, being Miss Gadabout, the mouth of Meridian, this is my favorite, in-person opportunities to interact with our citizens. We've got all sorts of public meetings that we make a special effort to attend to, whether it's we attend coffee with the mayor, town hall meetings, open houses. I can go to the chamber, they have some early morning breakfast minglers or after work networking opportunities. We really try to make sure we're represented at some of those public meetings. And some we host ourselves also, like our recent open house. Community events like Unplug and Be Outside, or the art party, or Christmas in Meridian. We usually have quite a presence there. We'll set up our little Parks and Rec tent and have it staffed with either staff members and or volunteers. Again, it's all about interacting with the public in person. There we go. Open houses we mentioned. Ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings. Those are also, they don't really cost us anything, and they seem to attract the media and neighbors. And so that's another way we have in-person communication. Community fairs and job fairs. The library hosts occasional welcome to the community type little information resource fairs that we have a booth at. The senior center sometimes are health and wellness oriented, which we consider parks and recreation kind of under the health and wellness and fitness umbrella. So we try to do those. And then for job fairs, Boise State University or some of the bigger high schools in Meridian have job fairs, and we make sure we have some of our people there, especially when we're recruiting for seasonal workers, whether it's lifeguards or the outdoor landscapers. We're sure to be present there. Speaking gigs, Steve's good at this. We get invited to talk to groups like Leadership Meridian or service clubs like Kiwanis or Rotary or Optimist Club, and we're always open to that. And then, like I say, sometimes we try some targeted outreach. We had this idea that if we went to the Meridian pool while the parents were all sitting around while their little kiddies took their swimming lessons, we could schmooze them and show them the activity guide and make some inroads. And we had some little sunscreen and lip balms to give away. And it's hard. It's not very measurable, but it was a good outreach. And that was an example of a little targeted group we had. We also have focus groups sometimes, especially when we're doing our master plan update. We would bring people in to do little exercises, or when we were doing our, what was that? It had to do with, the money and how much things should cost and cost recovery and how much pricing should certain activities have. Those are examples of when we might bring in a focus group so we get some good diverse opinions. Our volunteers are great in-person ambassadors. We've always got people here at the front desk. We've got the park ambassadors patrolling the parks in the little egg or on foot or bicycle, whatever we've got. They're trained to be goodwill ambassadors for us. And so our volunteers are an important part of the in-person outreach. And then several of us sit on different boards or commissions or service clubs. I belong to Kiwanis. I was on the Friends of Meridian Library Board for a long time. Steve's very active and past president of the Idaho Recreation and Parks Association. So, the Western Ada Recreation District we were involved with. So what are you on anything right now, Garrett? IRPA, he's on IRPA. So several of us are on IRPA right now. We're planning a big conference. So anyway, so we try to get out and participate in other groups as well.
Another example of targeted outreach that Garrett does would be he attends like MYB board meetings, for example. That's
Mhm.
just another
NYB is a
example.
Close partner. Yeah, so anyway, it's all about relationship building. And so it's good when times are good, and it's really good when times are bad, because we know each other and respect each other, and we know who's who and who does what. And it helps us work and collaborate and find solutions when we need. Here's just an example when we have a special event and pop up, have an information tent or a booth, and it's usually where our volunteers hang out. So you can always look for us at special events, especially during the warm weather months. So, dee. Signage and outdoor, we really can't afford billboards. We've priced them, and it's like, thank you, but no thank you. But we can afford things like those big event sales or some banners, or you'll notice we have some of our events are highlighted on lamppost banners. Those are all just subtle little forms of reminding people where they are, or what the event's called, or what we do, or if we have something upcoming. So that's something we have. Social media, that's the big one. And because it's free and we can really control it moment by moment, that's probably one of the ones that we get our best bits of communication through. Facebook, there's a City of Meridian, Idaho -government page. There's a Meridian Parks and Recreation page. There's Story Bark Park, Meridian Arts Commission, Historic Preservation Commission, and then the Rock of Honor. Those are the ones that we in our department kind of provide the words and pictures for. So, and that's when you get confusing, like, who am I right now? Who am I being right now? So anyway, so Facebook, and then Instagram, which is more photos. There's a City of Meridian Instagram page called @Meridian Idaho. And then we have a brand new one that just started a few months ago called @Meridian Parks and Recreation. And then our bike park out at Discovery, they always have to announce their closures or openings based on the weather and the course conditions. So I think they are Discovery Bike and Skate, something like that. I'd have to double check. Skate and bike, or bike and skate? Anyway, they've got one too. Nextdoor, you maybe personally use Nextdoor for the subdivision you live in. It's a more of a neighborhood type communication. We have access to it through the mayor's office, either citywide messages, or again, we can target a geographic area. So it only includes certain subdivisions or areas. So Nextdoor is very valuable. X, which is formerly Twitter, primarily police and fire use it a bit for emergency alerts, and we've kind of steered away from it. It's gotten kind of political and messy, I guess. So we're just not big. We're not big Tweety birds. So I think we've got a Twitter account. It's probably Meridian, Idaho, I'm guessing, but it's not something our Parks Department uses. YouTube, all of our city's video content can be found on YouTube under City of Meridian. And so there are some Parks and Rec videos posted. They don't get as updated as often as they need to, because sometimes we depend on interns out of the mayor's office to make sophisticated edited videos with music, and we don't always have access to that, or we have to wait our turn.
But meetings like this one are on YouTube as well.
Yes, you can find board and commission meetings, of course. LinkedIn, again, I don't really have much to do with it. Some of our individuals have LinkedIn accounts, and I think it's a little more relevant for job hunters or headhunting. And then Facebook groups, the city, I don't know if you know, we have Meridian Trash Talk is a very active group. That's relevant to us because some of the leaf and fall cleanup has a little bit to do with parks and like the dumpsters in our parks. And so sometimes we're featured in Meridian Trash Talk. And then we actually subscribe to other Facebook groups as a member so that we can promote our stuff. Like there's Meridian moms, and then there's also nice moms of Meridian. So it's like, does this mean these other moms aren't nice? I need details. But anyway, so they kind of scare me. But we find these other groups where we can kind of wiggle in and share our messages. And if we do it sparingly enough and respectfully, they don't scold us for spamming. Most of our events are free and they're for families and children, so they appreciate the news and information. What's also nice about social media is that we get analytics, which insights or some statistics. And so right now, like I just checked because I was curious, City of Meridian's Facebook page has 16,000 followers and 12,000 Instagram followers. And we're just a little behind on our Facebook. We're at 14,000 Facebook followers, which is good. And like I said, our new, it's very new Instagram account's up to 544. We need to build it, and we will. So anyway, and then we can also see, I know this is really hard for you to see. I said, well, what's our most recent popular post? Oh, it was when I posted the map of the parade route last Friday night. And so I can see up here in the right-hand corner, it got 30,262 views, which is good because Meridian only has how many households? 30,000 households, I'm not sure. But anyway, 30,000 views is great. Reached 22,000 interactions, means how many people, did something with or clicked on it. How many of these people are followers of us that want to see every single thing we do, and how many other just stumbled on us? There's a percentage. And then how many left reaction, how many 12 people shared it to their Facebook page. And then we can see the gender. Our Facebook is very female heavy, but that's okay because those are the moms who call to enroll their sweethearts in their dance lessons and their martial arts classes. So this post was 81% women and 18% men. And then over here on the right, I can even see the locations. That most of them are Meridian, almost 3,000 of them are from Boise, Nampa, Caldwell, CUNA, Eagle Star. It helps us to see how far we're drawing. Even Garden City, Emmett, Middleton. It just kind of helps us see who are we attracting with our information. So, and we can, it just goes ad nauseum. I can really get deep into analytics, but that's an example of just for a single post and see, what do we know about how this post did? And again, I don't expect you to be able to necessarily see this, but I've got it on a handout. People can go online to the city's website, to meridiancity.org/subscribe, and there's little check boxes of all these choices of things they might want to receive regularly in their email. Do they want agendas and minutes from certain boards or commissions? Do they want the City of Meridian blog, arts and the Meridian arts information, police department? We haven't gotten our parks newsletter so new we were not quite sure how to get it on this list. We've got to find someone that knows how. So we'll get there very soon. But anyway, so that's something you could do is go to meridiancity.org/subscribe and pick and choose what it is you'd like to hear from the city regularly. That's all, folks. Or I think that was Woody Woodpecker. What does this guy say? Oh, but what Dom said. Okay. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Do you have any questions or anything you want to chat about?
Thank you. Questions from the commission? Yes,
Madam
Commissioner Bobo.
Madam Chair, to clarify, goal is number 10, not because, and I will full disclosure, I will probably vote again tonight if I'm assuming that's going to be another goal. It will probably be on 10, just because we don't have to concern ourselves with it very much because you are amazing at it.
But I'm exhausted. I know, but it's important. And it always comes up in the city surveys. It's always pretty high on, because communication is important. And
So maybe that's bad on us because we're not supporting you as much as we should, but we don't have to worry about it because you do an amazing job.
I'm a one-person department. We do as much and as well as we can. And the other rec coordinators do some of their own stuff too. There's a program called Canva. You guys heard of Canva? CANVA. And we don't have our own graphic artist on staff. And boy, back in the day, we were putting out some ugly stuff. Some people just don't have a good sense of graphic design and what's pleasing to the eye and only use 2 or 3 fonts, not 16 fonts, and what's too much on a page and what's white space. But Canva has really been a a program we subscribe to as a city that we can use that really helps us with our graphic design. And in the meantime, until the future, if we ever get a graphic artist for the city, in the meantime, we're learning more and doing better and having better and better looking things and experimenting, doing more things with it. So Canva has really helped. Our challenge is not everyone communicates the same way. One thing I do when I see people in person, if I'm schmoozing at concerts on Broadway, I always say, how did you hear about tonight's concert? Or how did you hear about on Plug and Be Outside? Because I want to know, how do these people, where do they get their information from? And you can tell a lot, or sometimes we'll have them raise your hand. How many of you heard us on Facebook? How many of you has read it in the newspaper? I mean, because we really were trying to crack the code, but not everyone is computer literate. Not everyone has this, not everyone has that. So that's the challenge. It's like playing whack-a-mole, trying to catch as many people as we can. So we try. And
I was going to say my
we've got
second
good-
comment.
We've got good support. It's a team effort always.
My second comment is if you were to ask me how the city gets their information out, I probably could have come up with most of that list because I get those things.
Well,
I'm
you're
on your
engaged and you
Instagram, I'm on
try.
your Facebook, I see the news, I see the announcements, I've seen the podcast, so you're doing an excellent job of getting out there because it's not because I'm that observant or signed up for things, it just happened upon me.
That's okay. Well,
And so
some-
that's
think
how I
some
got-
people are
that's-
still inside their living room with the curtains closed, thinking we're going to come to their door with a silver platter. Like, back when we were smaller, maybe it could work that way, but in this big bustling community, it's a lot of territory to cover, a lot of different types of people, a lot of communication methods. So
But I think it's working because
Trying to
people are
crack the
getting the
code,
word out
trying to crack
and
the
I'm
code.
seeing it. I know lots of other people are seeing it too. So you're doing a good
appreciate that.
job.
It's very kind of you. Anything else?
Madam Chair. Thank you, Shelley. To kind of, I don't want to say piggyback off of Commissioner Bobo's comment, but when you're talking about podcasts, you're talking about some of the media engagement. Trying to word it the right way.
It's okay. You won't hurt
Would
our
it be-
feelings.
Would it be, no.
We don't have
Would it be
feelings.
would it be an effective way to maybe support you and support the communications push? If, for example, on whether it's our commission, whether it's any of the other commissions, let's put a scenario where the average, any of the citizens out in the city of Meridian here are listening to a podcast. And most of the guests that, let's say, Hello Meridian brings on are more city officials, city employees. Okay, so, but how does a city employee relate to me as a citizen? Would it be beneficial? Would it be helpful and supportive of the communications push for, whether it's scripted and rehearsed or whatnot, for members of the various commissions to join you or members of the city?
Sure, we're
on these
open-minded.
podcasts and say, hey, I'm a volunteer, I'm a
Yeah,
citizen.
we'll just start watching and listening for opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it all happens so fast. A news reporter will call and say they want to do something. And we're like, what are we talking about? Next week, the week after? They go, oh no, I have to have it for the 4 o'clock news today. And you're like, "Ugh." I mean, sometimes they don't give us time, but if these ones that are a little more thought out and planned ahead, yes, I'll keep in mind. Yeah. And I know you used to do little stand-ups from different events or at the park, and we love stuff like that. So yeah, gotta get the weather maybe warmed up just a little so we can get out and back and look, everything looking good and doing our stuff. But yeah, we're open to that.
Any other comments or questions?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Oh. Where did I've lost a stack of stuff. Okay, go ahead.
She says she's listening. You may go ahead.
We're going to get a prize. Okay.
Roger, the new annual report. It's so hot off the press, it might burn your fingers. So find a typo and win a prize. So I can make adjustments
So
if
my
I-
question
Yes, ma'am.
is, I am on Nextdoor within my HOA.
yes.
I don't think I ever see anything from the city. Is that because of the HOA and the way they're doing? And what's really bizarre about being a part of the one I am, I mean, I get stuff and people are in Nampa and they're in Boise. and
I
they're-
don't, I
they're
know,
not
next
in
door's a
my-
little weird. They can control what information they send out. For a while, when we were new to next door, some folks over the mayor's, they like bombarded next door. And the people that were next door got mad at the city, said, you're spamming us with too much stuff. And we'd rather hear about, whose cat pooped in whose, geranium bed. They weren't interested in city news and information. So we backed way off because we were getting some sour grapes. So Terry, I'm not sure how that works, but yeah, some neighborhoods are more interested in just their own little cocoon, and then others are more open. I think at our next door, there's an events section, and that's where we tend to put stuff. I got kicked out of I moved from one neighborhood in West Boise to my house in Meridian, and I couldn't get back into next door. So I'm not even a member. So I'm like, hello, I'm trying to get back in. So we'll have to take a look at it.
There are
But
lots.
it's not your imagination that
Oh,
not
okay, I was
everyone
just- I
sees
was wondering about
everything.
that. And then I wondered, and I don't know if you have anything to do with this, how long are the mayor's podcasts? Are they within 30 minutes or are they?
Is it a
They
30
just
minutes
run
or more
various-
when he does his My Meridian?
I think it varies. I think they're all under an hour, probably 30
Yeah.
minutes to an hour.
I would think so. And they're archived. You can go on the and find them on the computer. So I think they're included.
Links on the web. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here, I had it in my, what's it?
Yeah, there's a link.
Did
on
you
here.
find it?
Ready?
Yeah, it's called meridiancity.org/mymeridian. And that's his My Meridian podcast, of which we're occasional guests. Okay, I've probably taken enough of your time.
Well,
Madam Chair, real quick.
Oh,
I think
yes.
I found your typo.
Uh-oh.
Where's my, okay, I owe you a prize.
was fast.
I'm not,
If it's the same one you're thinking of that I'm thinking.
I haven't found any yet. I haven't had time. I'm so busy.
Oh,
We've got, I'll let you know, we have our Children's Winterland Festival on Saturday from 10 to 2 at the Meridian Home Court. And so once that's over, we can catch our breath. I can fix Dom's typo.
yeah. So officially on page 2, the Parks and Recreation Commission, the kind of structure there is still from the 2022 commission, where Keith is president and Joe is vice president.
Oh,
well.
I probably used an old template.
Good catch.
Oh, my Lord.
That's
Okay, you
okay.
win. Oh, look at that. You win. Okay, prize forthcoming. Thank
Ellie,
you.
thank you so much. We appreciate everything
you.
you do.
If
Thank
you have any questions or want to chat or have a closer look at any of these pieces and parts we've talked about, you just come rattle my chain and we'll get together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam
Yes.
Chair, I'll just point out on the podcast, I just went to Spotify and searched My Meridian and it came up on Spotify as
Oh,
well.
that's
So
excellent.
you
Good.
can get it there and probably other podcast locations as well. So.
Right. All right. Okay, well, I think we better move on with our agenda this evening. The next item is our annual elections. And I have some notes here just to kind of help that process. So the Meridian City Code directs us to hold elections at our December meeting. And our bylaws state that officers of the commission shall include the commission chair and the commission vice chair. And our bylaws also state that the commission vice chair shall automatically be nominated for the position of chair. And therefore, that is our first nominee for the office of chair this evening. And I will be kind of going through nominations process and then we'll go to a vote from that. But I just wanted to say then, I think everybody knows our vice chair is Commissioner Dom Gelsomino. He is nominated for the position of chair. And he's actually served as chair in the past. So it's great to have him potentially back in that role. But I am supposed to ask if there are any other nominations for the office of chair, commissioners. And seeing none, then we will move on to nominations for the vice chair. Nominations for chair are now closed officially. And I will now address nominations for the vice chair position. Commissioner Brienne Sandow has been nominated for the vice chair position, and she has indicated a willingness to serve in that role, which is great. I am directed to see if there are any other nominations for vice chair this evening. So just putting it out there. Are we good? All right. So the nominations for vice chair are closed. And so I propose that we vote on these nominations as a slate together and by acclamation, since both nominees are running unopposed. And so I think we need to take a motion from the commission, from someone else other than the nominees, to elect the chair as Dom Gelsomino and the vice chair as Brienne Sando. So do I have a motion? Yes.
Joe, I can't hear you. Can you?
Oh,
No, you got to get the light off.
you might need to use, oh,
Off.
Push the button so the red light is off. No. Oh. Yep.
yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to elect Don Gelsomino as our new chair and member Brianne Sando as our vice chair for 2025.
Excellent. Do I have a second for the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Bobo. Okay, we have a motion and a second to elect Chair Don Gelsomino and Vice Chair Brianne Sandow. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries, and I'd like to congratulate our new chair and our new vice chair. Thank you. And you will assume your positions in January, at our January meeting. So thank you so much.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to add that, so when Dom was president or chair of the commission, it was during COVID. So it was really unfortunate for him. So I'm really glad that he gets another opportunity.
Yes, we're fortunate. Thank you. No.
I didn't say that.
You will never get elected again if that's
Okay, so our final new business item tonight is to brainstorm and identify 2025 all commission goals, and I will turn it over to Director Sidaway to lead us through that process.
Thank you. Oop, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to do my best to do this without Rachel, but I've got a draft ready to go over. So let me try and share the screen. Share. Here we go. Share. All right. Is that up on your screens? Okay. On the left is the 2024 goals, and I've kind of made them like a track changes version, if you will. And then on the right will be the ones that we're kind of voting on with any additional changes or additions that you may have. So I'll just walk through them quickly. 2024 goals, number one was participate in the development of the Pathways Master Plan update. Some of you were part of the kickoff meeting that we held, and there's been some back and forth with the consultants recently. We do expect that to move forward with some opportunities for engagement in the coming year. So that one is still relevant, and you can see I carried that forward on to the right, just as is under the draft 2025 goals. Number two was to support development of a connected pathway system across the city of Meridian with a focus on user experience amenities and improved connectivity. That is an ongoing kind of forever goal for us and still very much relevant, and continue that over. The next one's about the golf course. The only change there is that the clubhouse and patio improvements are now complete. So you can see I did a strike through on the clubhouse and patio improvements, but the new on-course restrooms are still in process. Mike will probably give an update on that later for you, but 2 coming soon and then 2 later this year. But still a valid goal for the restrooms, and so I just took out the clubhouse patio improvements and kept the on-course restrooms. Number 4, participate in partnership with the Arts Commission. This is the art and theming in other parks. You can see we had listed Discovery Park, which is now complete. Fuller Park, which I talked with Cassandra and has been on the Arts Commission's list as one of the next maps of eligible projects. But in talking with her, because they're doing an update to the Arts Master Plan, she suggested taking the specific names off. I suggested we keep Chateau Park on because, as you know, that one's actively being worked on and should be being installed next year. But then we added the Arts Master Plan because she said there probably would be some opportunities for you folks to engage in that as, you know, their commission comes up with drafts that may involve parks. So you can see I just transferred that over as described. Number 5, to me, this one's the 800-pound gorilla, if you will, for the coming year, but participating in the design and programming of the new community center. We'll give an update later on the open house, but that one carried over. Number 6, the replacement of the splash pad is complete and open, so I crossed that off. I did propose a new one that is to pursue a future park site in Northwest Meridian in the Fields District. That's what they call the area up in Northwest Meridian. We're very interested in a future park location up there and working to pursue one. So love your engagement on that. Number 7, continue to provide feedback for ongoing park improvements and enhancements. Again, that's an ongoing one as we build new things in parks. Number 8 is to engage other task forces, commissions, entities, and agencies through workshops and other outreach for partnership opportunities. You know, last month you heard from Meridian Youth Baseball. It's an example of one of those. We've also heard from the Arts Commission was here talking about Initial Point Gallery. So that one carried over. Number 9, also ongoing, supporting the ongoing operations of the Meridian Pool. And number 10, you just heard about tonight. In fact, Shelley's presentation was tonight because as we do monthly, we meet with the chair and the vice chair and talk about, you know, setting the agenda. And we went through the goals and said, you know, is there something that hasn't been covered recently? And that's what we like. Well, we haven't really done an update on the communication tools. We should do that. So kudos to Shelley for coming and providing that update tonight. But that one also carried over. So what we have over here on the right side in red is the draft goals. And I need to figure out how to get these all on the screen at once for you. They almost all fit. But what I'm going to ask you to do, and most of you have done this before, but I'd like each of you individually to just come up with well, when we're done, I need to ask if there's any other changes, but here, I'm just foreshadowing where we're going. What I want to ask you to do is to prioritize them. And number 1 will be your highest priority, and number 10, if it stays as 10 total, would be your lowest priority. And then I'm just going to go through each of you one at a time, and I'll say what is A in this case, and you'll tell me A is my number 3 or whatever, right? And okay, what is B? B is my number 10. C is, where's community center? E is my number 1. But and so that's kind of the feel of it, of what would like you to report out, because right up here, I'm going to be going through each of you individually and going through A, B, C, D, E. In fact, while you're doing it, I'll put A, B, C, Ds over here in the left column, and then we will add those up and come up with an aggregate score as the commission and ask you to approve those as the aggregate, the combined goals for next year. So with that, let me pause and just ask if there are any other additions or changes to the draft list before we put you to prioritizing.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I don't have a change, but if you hit Control and wheel back on your mouse, it will let you zoom out typically.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
Sorry.
Nice. You.
Is that too small? Can you guys read that? Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
I
Great.
think there are, oh, okay. I think Commissioner Helms has
Other
his hand up.
commissioners, Commissioner Helms.
Yeah, just a question on the community center. You talked about design. Is any construction going to happen in 2025 on that?
No, if we get our best laid plans, my goal would be to be out to bid a year from now and breaking ground the spring of 2026. That's my goal. So if all goes quote unquote well, timing wise, we're still in concept development. This spring, we're going to do design development. By spring, we should have a good solid cost estimate that we can take into the budget process in June and July. If that budget is approved in August for construction, we would get those funds available in October. We would then put it out to bid in November, December, and get bids to break ground in the following spring.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions, changes, or additions?
Yes.
Chair. Is on the, looking for the park site in the Fields District. Just as far as, do you already have some ideas about that, or what are we looking at so far?
We do have a potential partnership in the works. We hope to bring a letter of intent forward to the council soon. But a couple of months ago, I actually presented this to you in the Future Parks presentation. And I outlined a future park location in Northwest Meridian that I'm specifically talking about. We'd like to pursue that and get that as an actual future park. So yes, we do have one in mind.
I think that's the meeting I was out of town.
Okay, I'd be glad to
Sorry
go over it
about
with
that.
you.
I need to go back. Yeah, I guess I got to go to YouTube and check that out.
Sure, yeah. And I'd be glad to just talk with you one-on-one anytime.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't think there are any other comments or ads, Steve.
Okay, so there's the list, A through J. If you could just put a priority 1 through 10 next to each of those letters for yourself. And when one of you are ready, you can raise your hand.
I'm ready. But I don't want to just disrupt other spots. So maybe we should wait till
Um,
more people are ready.
I don't want to change the screen quite yet because I will need to go up to the top. So let's give everyone a couple more minutes and then we'll start.
Okay.
Just for clarification, you're going to ask us for the letter.
I'm going to give you the letter. You're going to give me the number. So I'm
Okay,
going to say A is what number for you? B is what number for you? Okay. I'm going to scroll up for just a minute. And I think what I can do is I can copy these. Probably paste them up here. Let's see. Then that bigger. Now they're really. Oh, no, I don't want it. That's wrong. And Yes.
That would be good.
Please do. I'm like, how do I make these all shrink?
There's some commissioner names to be updated as well.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. It's already there? Yeah. Let's see, who is missing?
I think it's just removing.
Andy, Jen, Dom, Joe, Ellie, Terry, John, Alan. Got everybody? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have Mandy go ahead and go first so
Okay.
that, so we're gonna start, let's see, I need to get to the right, where's the Mandy column? This one right here. And so A is what priority for you?
2,
Okay. Keep going down the B.
3,
Okay. C.
10. Sorry, Commissioner Helms.
D.
4,
E.
1,
F.
5,
G.
6,
H.
7,
I.
8,
And J.
9.
All right. Did that make sense to everybody what we just did?
Mhm.
All right. Who would like to go next? Dom? Joe? Let's go to Joe.
Okay.
All right, Joe. I'm not going to say the letters. You just give them to me,
Give
A
you the
through J.
numbers. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
3, 4, 7, 5, 1, 2, 8, 6, 9, and 10.
Okay. Dom, would you like to go next?
1, 2, 3. My mic on. So 1, 2, 3, 5,
5,
6, 7, 4, 8, 10, 9.
Thank you. Who would like to go next? Do you want to go, Jen? Okay, let's get the microphone on over.
Ready?
1 second, Jen. Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
2,
Okay.
3, 8, 4, 1, 5, 7, 6, 9, 10.
Okay. Bree, are you ready? Okay, go ahead.
4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 8, 2, 10, 9, 1.
Okay. Ellie, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
8, 2, 10, 5, 1, 7, 3, 4, 6, 9. Did I do it wrong?
Wait, missed something.
Got
Okay.
Oh no.
The
Okay.
okay. Oh, the 1 and 7 I duplicated. So let me back up. Okay, 1, 7. Do I have those right? E is 1, F is 7,
3,
G 3,
4, 6,
4, 6, 1.
9 is the last one.
Oh, 9. Making sure I can hear. Making sure we're paying attention. Okay, does that look accurate?
Yeah.
Terry, are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
Okay.
So we're doing, I'm giving you numbers, correct?
Giving me
From
numbers
A through
for A through J.
3, 2, 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 10.
Okay. John is out, so let's go to Ellen.
Okay, you ready?
I am ready.
8, 2, 1, 9, 4, 7, 3, 5, 6, 10.
Okay. Now, if Jen's magic formulas did their work, um, sure.
You have like,
What do you do? Yep. Okay. So we have a tie for first place between the Connected Pathway System and the new community center, which I would agree, they're both very important. Then followed by the Pathways Master Plan, and then the ongoing park improvements, the Arts Commission identity and theming, improvements at the golf course, the new park at the Fields District, engaging other task forces, supporting operations at the pool, and the communication tools that Shelley presented tonight. That I don't know that we need to split hairs between A and B, which I'm comfortable with just listing them like that because they're both important, and we will continue to work on all of them, which regardless of which one is number one and number two. So I would ask if
Can I ask for a perspective
you may.
on the ranking? Just because when you look at it, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 of the commissioners that listed B as.
Oh,
So I think
yeah.
it would be good
To list that one first?
that first.
Sure. So I could agree with that. So I think I can do that by cutting Control X and then pasting here. Oh, it went over the top. Just a second.
well,
Let's see.
Yep, I think you have to insert another.
Oh yeah, what's the
otherwise-
insert one? Is it I?
Right click.
Oh no, that italicized it.
Right click.
There we go. There's an insert.
There you go. There we go. Then
And
copy
then-
it there.
It did. It's at the top. So now we can cut this one and paste it here.
Bam.
And then we can delete this row. Move them all up. Okay. And this will become A, and this will become B. But this will be the order. In fact, I'll just put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 as the order. Any other questions, comments?
I just wanted to comment that, you know, all of these are very important.
Yeah.
It's so hard to choose priorities, and I really respect my fellow commissioners in some of their choices. And, you know, for example, on the golf course, it's just been doing so well. Everything's been going great. And so that's why I kind of, from my personal perspective, I put it a little bit lower on the list. But what's really great is when you sort of have a commission like this and everyone's perspectives come together and it all balances out. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, they wouldn't even be on the list if they weren't considered important.
Right.
So it's a little bit splitting hairs, but it's still helpful to us to know where the top ones lie. So with that, I would seek a motion and a vote on this list as the aggregated priorities for the commission for 2025.
Call for a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Gelsomino.
I would like to make a motion to approve, what was the wording, Jeff, Steve, that you used?
Just approve this list as the priorities for the
To
commission.
approve this list as shown, as the priorities for the commission for the incoming 2025 year.
I'll second.
And we've got a second from Commissioner Greer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. So the motion carries and we have a great list of prioritized goals for next year. So thank you. All right, so now we can move on. We don't have a workshop this evening. We can move on to staff reports.
Okay. Well, I think the big ones that there's a lot going on. Some people think it's December. The grass ain't growing, so the Parks Department must not have much to do. You guys having fun with your time off? And that just ain't the case. I think the big three I'd like to point out just from this last week and this week. The community center open house was, I think, a smashing success last Thursday. We had a great turnout, probably 30 to 50 people, 14 of which actually left comment cards, and we're aggregating those comments right now. Moving the design process forward. I imagine it'll be ready for some kind of another more detailed update in January. But certainly January or February, by the time we get some revisions worked into the concept that's out there right now. But we had some great boards. Commissioner Roberts was there. I don't know if you have any, comments on that or perspectives.
No, I really thought everything was very well illustrated. I was so excited about the many things I saw, interaction between the indoor, outdoor recreational spaces. I'm a big fan of the kitchen, and I saw there's going to be a kiln. So I know there are going to be pottery classes, so that's pretty exciting. I thought everything was very, very well illustrated, and I really liked the mural ideas for integrating art. I could see a lot of great opportunities, and even for those maybe to be ephemeral or change, over time, depending on funding, of course, but that could be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say overall, the comments were very positive. By and large, everyone was excited to see this moving forward. They were very supportive of the design and the layout. I would say on the concern side, the 800-pound gorilla there was traffic and needing a signal out at Venable and Ustick, and we're supportive of those comments as well, and intend to participate in a potential signalization of that intersection with this project. So we're hoping that will continue forward. So second, thanks to all of you who participated in many different ways with the parade and the tree lighting. Some of you were on the float. Some of you were walking with the council float. Some of you were at the stage. Some of you were watching the BSU football game. But we had a live band on the commission float. And it was cool, wasn't it, Bree?
And the band was really good, and I felt like it was awesome. There was a lot of people there to see the parade, and everyone seemed to be having a good time and was really engaged despite the fact it was freezing. And yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and the tree lit. Over 7 miles of lights on that tree, by the way.
Wow.
So if you want to see what a single tree with more than 7 miles of lights looks like, go to Generations Plaza and check it out. It's pretty awesome.
And Michelle Hart, the MC, had the game on her phone on the stage. We were keeping it updated.
And then lastly, I just want to mention, maybe stealing a little bit of Garrett's thunder here, but the next big one is the Children's Wonderland Festival this Saturday at the home court. This will be our first year hosting it in the new renovated Base 6 area. So we're going to give that a try and see how that works. But that'll be this Saturday from 10 to like 1 or something
2
like that.
p.m.
2, thank you. I knew it went at least 3 hours, so 10 to 2. So 10 to 2. If you get a chance to come by it, it's mainly for the kiddos. There's lots of booths and activities, and Santa's always there for some photos, and there's crafts to make and pictures to color and things for the kids to make and do and take home. So it's always a lot of fun for anyone that's got children. The Children's Winterland Festival this Saturday, so just wanted to put in a plug for that. And I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions or comments?
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So, and at the Winterland Festival, we do have photos of Santa. They have it set up a little bit different. I went and looked today. I went to Home Court with Jenna to check it out. So they're in separate locations, which will maybe be better because Santa photos and some tables are set up. So come see us because it's a friend of mine that has been doing the photos for 10 years or so. She volunteers for free.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
That's
sends them
amazing.
to everyone. But on the other hand, you also have all of these activities for children that are messy and you don't have to clean it up. So
Very good.
anyway, that's
Thank
just my
you.
little pitch in there.
It's a lot of fun. I just thought of one other thing that I want to mention, and that is we raised funds. Do you know how many kids we raised funds for through the Head Start 68? So we're purchasing Christmas gifts for, 68 children, families in need through, it all comes through a benefit tournament that we hold. And we have volunteers that are wrapping those gifts this coming, is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday. So if anybody wants to come and spend part of their Tuesday with us, we'll be wrapping gifts for several hours, kind of late morning through early afternoon, and there's a lunch coming. So I just want to mention that because it always does my heart good to see us participate in helping provide, Christmas to some of these other families, and really grateful that we can be a part of that. So I think it's neat that our volunteers are coming out to help wrap those gifts, and then we'll get those to the Head Start.
And will that
program.
be here in?
Be here in
lobby?
conference room A
Okay.
and B.
Very good.
Yep. Okay. With that, passing it to Mike.
Yep. Thanks. So those of you who voted for numbers for C as their top priority, we have good news. We have next week. So we have a couple of foundations poured. The crews are coming to put the plumbing underneath the foundation. One of the buildings is going to get set on Wednesday. And then the other one, as long as we can get a permit from ACHD to close Talamore, that'll get set on Friday afternoon. That might bump to the next week, but so the buildings will be in, then we can start working on plumbing connections. The one building that is going to be set on Wednesday needs to get water and sewer from Black Cat. And in order to do that, we need to close Black Cat, but we can't close Black Cat because it's already closed, and it's going to be closed until April. So we're going to do everything right up to the street. And then when everybody breathes a sigh of relief that the road is finally open, we're going to close it again.
What?
Yeah. So it's just progress, right? And then the other two were ordered last week. And then just today we approved color submittals and sent them geotech reports for found footing designs and stuff like that. So the other two are going. Hopefully the other two are, now that we've done this, they've done this and they've submitted through the state of Idaho, it'll get totally streamlined. That's what we're hoping for. We're thinking get the other two set in June.
Maybe
That's
I'll.
fair.
Great. Yeah,
Well,
Commissioner Helms.
So
Yeah.
the second two, are those replacing the one on 13?
They are not. Those are in addition to 13. So 13 is going to stay there.
Okay, and so the other one near, I guess, hole 15 and 14?
Going to be 11. And in where it's right in the middle of 15 and 16.
Right,
So
okay,
it's accessible to fairways.
interesting, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's perfectly fine. It's not ADA compliant, but we'll have 4 that are, 1 that isn't. So
Right.
it meets the spirit of things.
Well, I
It's
guess
just-
that'll stop a lot of the number one complaint calls from, to your office or from neighbors there, or?
We get quite a few of, people can't control themselves.
Yeah.
It's just weird, or they drink too much beer or something, whatever it is.
Public
But-
urination, anyway.
Comfort and convenience. And, so that's going on. We're doing some sidewalks downtown. We got a couple of blocks worth of sidewalks we're doing. And, one of the things that we'll come talk to you about is, we've been working with a group that is trying to raise money to put a Ninja Warrior course in. And we have a spot chosen in Discovery Park for this Ninja Warrior course. And we haven't really said anything yet because the whole thing is super expensive, and we get people that come in and and I have a great idea and we're going to raise money and nothing ever really seems to happen. They've raised over $165,000. So,
Oh,
so we're like well on our way. We're going to be potentially talking about a match, some matching money and, some stuff,
this
but
is a permanent
it's a
installation?
permanent, like a playground, but it's for, it's a Ninja Warrior course, really specifically engineered for the group of people that are hard to have. Like playgrounds are geared more for younger kids and
Uh-huh.
park amenities, softball fields and stuff like that. And courts are for older kids. This is for that group that's hard to find a spot for, those tweens, we call them. So
Yeah, cool.
yeah, it's super cool. It's built in. It's like a playground. I mean, it's sturdy, lasts for, 20, 30 years. And so we'll come, next meeting. It's time to start thinking like, hey, this is really going to happen. So we'll come and show it to you. See, get your feedback, see if we're on the right track. They're raising money for a girl. Her name is Eva Plimmer, and she has a terminal brain, something going on, and she really loves Ninja Warriors. So they're trying to get this kind of, raise money and install this for her. So
Well, that's great.
sad and kind of cool. It's sad and really cool at the same
Yeah.
time.
Thank you.
So that's it.
Madam Chair, before we go to
Yeah.
Garrett, I would just like to add my own quick commentary on the golf course road closure and why we can't do it while the road's closed, because that doesn't initially make sense. Like, it's already closed. Why can't you do it? Well, we can't do it while it's currently closed because we need to close it in the middle, and it's currently closed at U-Stick and Black Cat. So we need U-Stick and Black Cat to be open so that people on both sides where we need to close it in the middle can access their homes and their streets. So we have to wait until the U-Stick road project is done, so the intersection opens, and then we can close it in the center so that, so we can go get those utilities.
So just to clarify, they're on one end, we're on the other. Everybody in the middle wouldn't have a way in.
Correct, unless we wait. So
That makes sense.
Well, we actually tried. We had people going through neighborhoods and all kinds of crazy stuff, and ACHG just said no. So we're good.
So currently for this improvement that they're on U-Stick, they're diverting a lot of traffic. There's no way for some of the people that live around the course to get out. So they're having to come, there's more traffic going through certain streets, so they put in temporary speed bumps and additional stop signs throughout our neighborhood there, so, which could be a good thing, I guess.
Yeah,
There were too many stop signs.
I think they ought to leave all that stuff. Personally, the stop signs they're strategically, they're pretty good, and the speed bumps are,
Enhanced safety. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. With the amount of golf carts running around in there,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. I'm
traffic calming is good.
okay. Are we ready for Garrett's update? Yeah.
All right. Well, with myself, I've been doing a lot of community center stuff, budgets, job descriptions, staffing plans, and things like that regarding the community center. Also working with Jake over at Home Court and Willow at the pool in regards to facility fees and schedules and some policies and philosophies there. Like Steve said, sports is going pretty good, and Maggie has the wrapping party, and the tournament went very well. And right now she's just doing basketball and volleyball. And then really just events, right? I know Joe talked about the Winterland Festival and everything that's going to happen there. I think Jenna was telling me there's 18 different arts and crafts things going on there Saturday, if not a couple more. Santa's, photos with Santa and things like that. So it'll be a fun happening place on Saturday. So you guys should go check it out. So with that, I'll stand for questions. Otherwise, it was just the parade, shoulder surgery, and rehab. So go from there.
Speedy recovery. Any questions from the commission? Okay.
See that Kim is online. I don't know,
Oh.
Kim, if you have anything you want to add. If not, you can stay muted, but I'll let you, oh, she's unmuted. So go ahead, let us know. If
I'm
you have any
unmuted.
updates
I
or-
wasn't really particularly prepared. I was mostly listening in. But yeah, let's see. I did hear your discussion and prioritization of the pathways, master plan and general goals for. We are working on that master plan. It's a little bit atypical as master plans go. So we have, we've adjusted the scope a little bit. And so I'm in communication with our consultant about that. And you should be hearing a lot more from us early in the new year because we'll push pretty hard. We've had a little bit of a stall there. So that's on, again, with this tightened scope that I think is going to be more useful for Meridian for what we really need. And still working on the restrooms at the trailhead. In fact, I may need to bring in someone with a little more clout than I have. We've been reaching out to ACHD to get permission to construct a restroom building at our trailhead, and that's been slow. So staying on a few things, I think, reviewing a lot of plans, that's still busy. And then, yeah, I'll stand for any other questions you have, but that's all I'll share for now.
Any questions from the commission? Thank you, Kim. Okay, well, great. So last topic is to ask about any thoughts about future meeting topics. And I just wanted to offer an idea for staff's consideration. And we can talk about it later. You don't have to say yes or no, but I have a student who is working on his master's in landscape architecture at the University of Idaho, and he is working on the Margaret Aldape Park, which is a city site that's on the Boise River. The city doesn't actually own the property yet, I don't believe, but the family is very interested in the potential future of it being a park. And there's just a lot of great opportunities there because there's a lot of flooding, which is a constraint, but there are a lot of opportunities having it be next to the river and to extend the pathway system. But anyway, I thought it would be a really good experience for my student to maybe come before the commission and present his early ideas and get some input from the commission because he will be working on this project next semester as well. And so he could explore some of those ideas. So that's a thought for consideration. And are there any other topics that we want to be sure get into consideration for next year? Staff does a great job of thinking of topics, so you don't have to worry, but if you have any ideas or thoughts.
Madam Chair.
Yes?
I don't have really a topic, but I believe that this is your last meeting as chair, so
Yes.
I did want to thank you for
Oh, thank you.
such an excellent job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've really enjoyed it. And okay, thank you. It's been wonderful. I have a grandchild coming in about a month. So I'll be happy to continue to be actively involved in the commission, but it's kind of nice to step back from the chair and I'll be able to, I'll miss one meeting a month and, that's okay, but excited about that. And also congratulations to Commissioner Greer, who shared some exciting news, if you'd like to share that.
So I recently got engaged. He's actually watching the commission meeting right now, but he lives in Australia because that's where I met him. So hi, Joey.
That's
Name's
amazing that
Joe.
Who's moving
what time is
where?
it there?
There's no moving yet. It's traveling, and so I'll be missing the next meeting because I'll be in Australia from December 18th until January 9th. But when you leave here and you fly there, you lose a day. So I leave here on the 18th, but I get there on the 20th.
But you get a day back when you come back.
When you come back, you come back on the same day that you leave. Yes, and then he'll be coming here at the end of January. I'm guessing probably gonna drag him to whatever I'm doing. So
Fantastic.
he's a golfer. He actually flew me back to Australia to attend his award ceremony, and he's also 6'6".
All right.
Very tall.
Good.
And he's a good golfer. He didn't tell me height. He took me off, and that was our first date on the ocean.
Oh,
And I had no
nice.
idea. I was making such a fool of myself. I was having a terrible golf game. Yeah. So anyway, now I'm really embarrassed. Thank you.
Yes. Great. Well, I think with that, we can call for adjournment, but first I just want to say happy holidays to everyone. So,
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you.
motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting for the end of the year. Wish everybody a happy holiday.
Thank you so much. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Greer. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Great. I don't think there's any nays. And excellent. We call for adjournment. It happened at 5:35.
Thank you.
I'm excited to go home and play my game.